Let's look at plant organ systems. Unlike animals, plants don't have quite the complicated number of organ systems. In general, plants have usually one important mechanism that they need to go through to get their required nutrients, etc., and that is water transport. So water transport in a plant, starts out here in the soil where water through osmosis gets into a root hair, it's brought up the roots and then into the xylem column. Then through capillary action it travels up the xylem column and then eventually it will evaporate from a stomata which is on the underside of the leaf. That evaporation process here is called transpiration. So capillary action in the xylem column, osmosis in the roots. And the reason water wants to do this is nutrients hitch a ride and they hop onto the water particle, they come in and then they jump off wherever they're needed along the way. Things like phosphorus, plants take in potassium, nitrogen also. Here's a plant cell again, just as a review. Plants have a very rigid cell wall. Then they have a cell membrane underneath that. Plants have chloroplasts, which carry out photosynthesis. And they have a great big large vacuole, usually full of water. So let's look at this water movement again. So we've talked about the xylem column before. Water moves into a plant against gravity through a couple of processes. One, transpiration, which is at the leaves. Tiny holes, which are called stomata, allow the water to evaporate, and that allows then more water to move up the xylem column. Capillary action, water travels across the roots into the tiny xylem tubes. As they travel, they stick together and they hold each other up so that gravity doesn't pull them down. So water is kind of jammed in here and they stick to each other so that they can be pulled upward against gravity. Let's more look at how transpiration occurs at the underside of leaves. Leaves have these other structures called stomata, which they kind of look like two little lips. And the lips or stomata open and close. They allow oxygen out during the day when it's photosynthesizing and carbon dioxide comes in during the day. At nighttime, however, plants don't photosynthesize. And so when it's nighttime, plants actually breathe in oxygen like us and they breathe out carbon dioxide. So it wouldn't be great to have a room full of plants because when you sleep at night, you'd both be competing for the same oxygen in the air. Just a review, don't forget osmosis at the roots happens, and so we already know how osmosis works. Let's look at a quick video clip now of how plants take in water through the process of transpiration, or through the process of osmosis. Scroll down. Here we go. Water intake. Plant organs first. Thank you.
Plants have many organs, each of which has a specific function. The flowers, where seeds are made, the leaves, where most photosynthesis takes place. The stem transports water and minerals up and down the plant. The root absorbs water and minerals.
And let's look at water intake at the roots right here.
The water needed for photosynthesis enters the plant via its roots. Plant roots are covered in millions of microscopic root hairs. These root hairs increase the surface area of the root for water and mineral uptake.
And that concludes our section on plant organs.